Hi, if you're a remote viewer with any kind of trauma in your background, please stick around and listen to the end. What I have to say could very well save your remote viewing ability. Now, first off, nice to meet you. I'm Linda Sevilla. I'm the co founder of the Ascension Center for Higher Consciousness, where we're very proud to teach not only HRVG, but our own proprietary method for accessing information non locally, XR, or extended reality. I've been a clinical hypnotherapist since 1999, and I've taught hypnotherapy since 2004 at my school, the Horizon Center School of Hypnotherapy. And so I've got some things to say about this topic. Now, let me begin by sharing with you a story about a client who came to see me a number of years ago. She came to work on her fear of driving. She had been in a car accident and, as a result, had terrible phobia around driving. So she came for a free consultation. I asked if she had any other phobias that were unexplained at that time, and sure enough, she did. She told me that she wasn't a big fan of dark, rainy nights. She would have full blown phobic reactions when she saw the color rusty orange, and the same thing would happen full blown panic attacks when she would hear Celine Dion music. Hmm. So, when we got deeper into our work together, we were able to figure out where all those other phobias came from. They were all linked to her original accident. So, what had happened was she had gotten rear ended in her car and she went through the windshield and landed on the car in front of her. It so happens that the car in front of her was that rusty orange color. This all happened on a dark, rainy night, and as you might have already guessed, there was a Celine Dion song playing on the radio when it occurred. So, what happened there? Your subconscious works by association. It is not the logical part of your mind. Its number one job is to keep you safe. And so, if something happens that causes you to feel threatened or fearful or anxious, your subconscious links that feeling to all of the readily available stimulus. In her case, it was the color of the car she landed on and the fact that it was dark and rainy outside and what was playing on the radio. And then it forms this kind of feedback loop. If your mind has associated dark, rainy nights with anxiety, then anytime there's a dark, rainy night, that could bring on anxiety. Another important feature to understand about the subconscious is because it's illogical, it doesn't necessarily update. I see a lot of clients who intellectually have processed and worked through traumatic events in their past, but on a subconscious level, there are still those associations set up. They're still having reactions, even though intellectually they know they're past the event, it's long behind them, they're safe. Those reactions are still occurring. Now, let's say that this client of mine became a remote viewer and she was tasked to go to a target where it just so happened it was a dark, rainy night. If her mind has associated dark, rainy nights with anxiety, she goes and experiences what's at the target, it could very well bring on that anxiety. The same could be the case if we sent her to a Celine Dion concert or if she was somewhere where a car accident occurred. So when you see or experience the stimuli at the target, again, it can bring on whatever negative associations, such as anxiety, have been set up with whatever that stimuli is. And this could infect your mental health. If you're innocently going to go to a target and you end up having a panic attack because there's something at that target that's triggering some old trauma, that's going to affect your mental health. And it can also affect your ability to remote view. Now, I've said that the subconscious works by association. If any negative thing happens while you're remote viewing, you get triggered by some stimuli that's at the target and it brings on panic, your subconscious could associate panic with remote viewing, and now it doesn't want to remote view anymore. And so, as I said earlier, this can affect your mental health, but it can also affect your ability to remote view overall. So, what suggestions do I have for you? My number one suggestion is work on your own trauma. Take responsibility for your mental health. Even if you feel like you've worked on it consciously, it might be useful to do some deeper work, either EMDR, hypnotherapy, something like that, that actually works with the subconscious to make sure that the subconscious is no longer going to respond to something that intellectually you feel you've worked through. I think it's also important to disclose to anybody who might be tasking you if there are certain types of targets that you shouldn't be visiting. For example, if you have sexual trauma or childhood trauma in your background, you probably don't want to do targets where you're locating missing children. You have no idea what's going to be at the location that you're sent to. And again, it could re-trigger your own trauma. I also think that it's important to practice working on safe targets. At the Ascension Center, we guarantee that our targets are safe. We're never going to send somebody to a murder scene or something that could have threat involved with it. Having said that, though, and this goes back to point number one, work on your own target or your own trauma, even safe targets could affect somebody. We could send our viewers to a Celine Dion concert thinking that that might be a fun place for them to go. But if you have this very specific trauma response set up because Celine Dion was playing on the radio when you got into your car accident, that is not going to be a safe target for you. And so it really falls on the shoulders of the remote viewer to do their own personal growth work, to make sure that they've worked through anything that's happened in their past, anything that could potentially cause them poor mental health or affect their remote viewing ability. Because again, even if the target is safe in the eyes of the tasker, it may not be safe in the eyes of your own subconscious mind. So I hope you got something out of this. If you're interested in training, please check us out at learn.ascensioncenter.ca. Come and check us out. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you got something out of this. Goodbye.